deepening and widening HR impact, making a difference to metrics that matter. And to do so, I request again Ms. Sonika Aaron, CEO Marching Sheep, to please come upon the stage. Please give her a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Ms. Sonika Aaron, an XLRI postgraduate, founded Marching Sheep in 2013 to make a difference in people's lives and drive respect and equality. Marching Sheep is a leading HR consulting firm specializing in diversity and inclusion, employee well-being, learning interventions, and policy streamlining, recognized for its impactful work and thought leadership in progressive HR practices. Please welcome Ms. Sonika Aaron. Everyone, a big round of applause for her.
Nice to be here. There are some people who were there in the previous conference as well in Hyderabad, I think the L&D conference. So thank you for being here again. And for those who were not there, I'll take 2 minutes just to quickly introduce myself, who we are, and it is refusing to move. Where to point? Yes. All right, perfect. So I started Marching Sheep in the year 2013, incidentally, in Hyderabad. So it was started as a one city operation in 2013 with one client. And today we are operating in more than 50 countries. We have more than 378 clients. We are practically working in every continent. While diversity and inclusion happens to be 60% of our work, we also work with clients on bespoke learning interventions, OD interventions, and talent management. And somewhere, you know, along the way, we've been recognized by CIO, Fortune, platforms like Forbes as the leading firm. The reason being that we talk about topics that nobody else is yet talking about. So today I'm going to talk about one such topic which is going to burst very soon, and it is going to really come on our plates very fast. Okay? So let me ask this one question, and the question is, what is that one major KRA that every CEO has today? Sorry? Leading the teams, you said, sir? Profit, somebody said profit. Top line, profit, sustainability. And if you break down sustainability, what does it really mean? Optimization? ESG, right? Now, let me tell you an anecdote, and it's a very interesting anecdote. I attended an ESG conference about 3 months back, and the room had everyone other than the CEO and the CHRO. Right? Everybody was talking about carbon footprint, net zero. They were talking about governance models. They were talking about BRSR. Anybody who can tell me what is BRSR? Come on. Okay. It is Business Responsibility Sustainability Report. SEBI has taken out guidelines which says that the top 150 organizations by market capitalization need to submit BRSR at an annual basis. And this number is going to be 1,000 in another year or so, and very soon it is going to be for every organization. Now what it has led to is that every investor which is looking at putting money in any venture is saying, are you following the BRSR norms? There are 140 questions in BRSR. Now see, everybody is looking at E. Do you agree? है ना? E तो करना ही है. We have to do processes, we have to make efficiency. Venkatesh sir spoke about efficiency, processes, very rightly so. Right? Manufacturing, your waste management, it has to be done. Governance you can't get rid of because labor commissioner aake penalty laga dega. That also you can't get rid of. So E and G is something we are doing. My second question to all those great people in the ESG conference was, what are you doing in S? What do you think they answered?
External CSR, internal social impact. How you are doing externally to impact the society.
External CSR, you are bang on, sir. Internally,
How you are driving your CSR or social objectives to the business, to
and
the outside of the world.
very good. So PR.
No, it's not PR. It's your understanding of the diversity, how many people you are bringing in, how much value you are creating to the in and around of your organization, the way you are operating, and secondly, how you are positively impacting their lives.
I hope that was the answer. I wish that was the answer.
You have done it that well.
Yes, sir. The answer was, we are looking at safety measures. We are looking at, there are no accidents in the factory. I was like, very good. You are doing CSR, you are looking at safety. But then I said, listen, I started my career in 2001. I was doing that even back then. So what different are you doing now? And in that moment I realized, yes sir.
See, we had same problem in one of the plants where I worked, Orient City. It was completely 36 years old IR problem.
Right.
Then we actually started sending ambulance to 18 villages.
Hmm.
Within 1 year, we actually get those impact. And then we have done, expanded our plant and with the support of the
Bingo.
That's a real yes.
That is the real S. And that is when they told me, I realized that we were in real trouble because the HR community A is not aware that there is a big S factor in ESG or sustainability. It is not just about carbon emissions or waste management or governance. S plays a very big part. And within BRSR, there are questions which talk about representation of women, representation of people with disabilities, interestingly not representation of LGBTQ, right? And it is not just about representation. They also track year-on-year movement in terms of, have you done their training? Is there sensitization? Is there more awareness? Has there been promotions? Is there is the pay gap narrowing? There are plenty of these questions. Representation is a lagging indicator. All of you understand leading indicators and lagging indicators? When we do hiring, so when sir said ambulance, that was a leading indicator. He was putting processes in place. Processes in place which created an environment which attracted the people that were meant to be attracted to a factory which was a traditional 36-year-old factory. Are you with me? So when you put leading indicators, when you put processes and inclusive environment in place, so for example, when GMR says in very simple language, what does it mean in terms of an airport? For them to attract people who can work. So for example, they provide wheelchairs to their passengers. Can there be wheelchairs for people who sit on the desks behind the counters? And what does it mean in terms of creating wheelchair-friendly toilets for staff? That would be a leading indicator. And trust me, GMR would be in the top 150 list if they are openly and transparently reporting. Right? So from there comes the real story of HR transformation. HR tech is an enabler, like he said. It can make you faster in adopting it. But the question is, are we working in the right direction? Because today he spoke about, are we in touch with the business deliverables? If I go and tell a CEO that training karni hai, he'll say get out. Seriously, he'll say get out. Paise nahi hai, budget nahi hai. But if I say I want to drive capacity building because we need to be ready. कल को अगर investor आएगा, he needs to see not just numbers on paper. Because when he does due diligence, he is going to speak to people. He is going to figure out whether we do have managers who create psychologically safe and inclusive work environment or not. He will check how many posh cases have been investigated. How many times the recommendations by the employer have, or by the IC have been implemented by the employer और सर जाने दो ना, 20 साल से तो हमारे यहाँ काम कर रहे हैं, वो तो ऐसे ही बात करते हैं. Everybody okay with Hindi, English? है ना? How many times you said कि he's so, you know, he's like uncle, he's okay, he speaks like this, let him go. Right? So that is where HR transformation really has to come in today, because that is what CEOs are looking for, and that is where I say if finance is the right arm, HR is the left arm. Because ये करेगा कौन? People. And we are responsible for the most valuable asset the organization has. निकाल दो, निकालना बहुत आसान होता है, but वापस लेना बहुत मुश्किल होता है. Hiring is very difficult. It is very easy to lay off. And people during COVID have seen this. Short-term decisions, knee-jerk decisions to lay off cost them a lot of money when COVID was over and they were trying to hire. The employee mindset changed so much that they were not willing to hire for brand, they were wanting to hire for culture. Okay, so let's move on. So I want to talk about transformation, and the reason I have taken healthcare is that this is one industry in which you get everything. There was a corporate office, huge corporate office, where they had all functions, huge IT function, they had huge, all HR, finance, R&D was huge. Because not only were they producing within, they were also testing molecules for other pharma companies. Are you with me? You know that model of healthcare? So they had two kinds of R&Ds, and they had those kind of turnaround times. कि अगर किसी client ने कह दिया कि we have a product launch in 4 months time and we want audits or checks on X kind of molecules, then they were running against time. And God forbid if they go wrong there. Lives were at stake. Okay? The scope was APAC again, so there were 6 countries here. Okay? And B2B and B2C. I just explained B2B kaise tha, and B2C, of course, there were OTC and they were through doctors, channels and everything. They had this channel, and because it was a conglomerate, they had healthcare business, they had consumer business, so they were in the top 150. Now, this is almost 3 years old story. So at that time there was no BRSR, but ESG, if you recall, had been started. The sustainability story had started. Now all of these people at the top are very well connected with government, and they knew that kuch na kuch to aayega, kuch na kuch tracking to aayegi. So they said that we need to start working and preparing from now. So what do we do? So they came to us, okay, listen, firstly we don't find women. If we find women, they keep leaving. What do we do? Second was that PWDs, we just don't understand. There are, how do we firstly find them? How do we train them? How do we give them jobs? How do we get them to work for the same duration as other people do? How do we give them feedback? So it was all very khichdi in their heads. And then while there was an articulated commitment, it was not socialized in the organization, because they felt, again, like sir said, 36-year-old organization, it was an older organization. A lot of leaders and managers were legacy managers. So for them, ये तो चलेगा ही नहीं. It can't happen. Sales में आप लड़की ला दोगे, she will only get orders because the distributor will be kind to her. He will extend the courtesy. He will extend courtesy once or twice, but after that, they don't have skills. That was the level of bias which was there. But please understand, we were no longer doing this because DEI had to be done. We were doing this because it was now a business imperative. If they wanted their investors to continue pumping in money, if they wanted because now their clients, their global clients were also asking them, what are you doing in the DEI space? Everybody asks this due diligence question, okay? So then we said, okay, it is not going to be a airy-fairy project. We need to have numbers. Number batao kya track karna hai. And it has to be a lagging and leading indicator. Your lagging indicator is that what is the reduction in attrition, so that you have X number of women in the organization. But what is going to be the leading indicator? So what do you think could be the leading indicator?
How many you are recruiting and
Developing them. And within recruiting, it was not about the actual number. It was saying for how many positions I got 50% resumes of diversity candidates and 50% of others. Because we said we will not dilute on merit. So inclusion will not come at the cost of quality. लेकिन हमको representation in talent चाहिए. कितने managers की unconscious hiring training हुई, and how many interviews were done as a panel and not one-to-one. I don't like him, so I will not hire him. Why don't I like him? I don't know. I can't explain. Sorry, boss. Huh? I have nothing against you. I don't know you. Right? Ghanti mat bajana. So that is the metrics. I think I showed it last time. Some people might know it. So we decided the leading indicators. I said lagging indicators ho jayenge. We created the enabling framework saying that to achieve that, what are the processes, what are the communication, and what are the capability building initiatives, and where, so it was a full change management process. And the team from the client side and us, we were like this. अगर communication जाना है तो हम लोग इकट्ठे craft करते थे. Decide करना whether it will go from the CEO, the CHRO, plant head, where will it make an impact, what is it that we cover in the town hall, and so on and so forth. It was like a calendarized this thing, but it was a live document. It was not that once we made a 3-year plan, then we got married to it. We kept on upgrading, tweaking, depending on the impact we were getting. Then there was track impact and course correct. So we have our own proprietary tools for impacting. There is no GPTW, there are no such fancy terms. So there is no award associated that you can buy, but it gives results, apologies, but it gives results, but then you can use that for PR. The results can be used for PR and awards. So metrics that matter, I was talking about that proprietary tool. We did not have an issue with leadership alignment except for what needs to be done. Leadership was already aligned on it needed to be done. The question was how and what all were they willing to invest in and the period. So they could not afford to do it in 1 year. You know, when you feed a child breakfast or a meal, you don't give the full day nutrition at the time of breakfast. You break it up through the day, right? When we eat a burger, I cannot put the whole burger in my mouth in one go. I take smaller bites. So that is what we told him कि आप सारे मतलब पूरे घर के बदल डालूंगा, बजाज approach नहीं ले सकते. Let's see what we can do year one. Let's apply Pareto, low hanging fruit. What will work? Let's use that as a success story for year 2. Then let's use that as a success story for year 3. And then let's keep on broad basing it. And these were all the things. We started with policies. Here we worked on something called as universal design. You would have heard of universal design when it comes to infrastructure. Correct? So when he speaks about an iPhone or any smartphone for that matter, there is predictive text. Who do you think predictive text was created for? Originally. People with dyslexia. But today everybody uses it, isn't it? Right? So universal design basically says that when you apply it to policies, it is not catering to majority, but majority of your people get benefited. So for example, if you have a leave policy which is ensuring that people who have caregiver responsibilities, and it could be for people who have elderly parents, it could be for people who have a disabled person at home, that person is also covered. And please, I'm not talking about period leaves, that's a contentious issue. But what about women who do have endometriosis? What about men and women who are going through menopause and andropause? Is your medical policy covering that? Right? What is our employee value proposition? Why would we attract talent? Today's talent, as I said, is going for culture, not for brand. It doesn't matter anymore कि आपका नाम क्या है, आप कितनी बड़ी कंपनी हो, मैनेजर अच्छा है, takes care of me, of my well-being, I can speak, my lifestyle goals, my life goals are being taken care of, I'll stay. Retention, SHE initiatives, these are basically stay interviews. We looked at sensitization sessions, and this is something, please don't mind, I'm like a woodpecker, but I always say that an organization is experienced not by CHROs, not by CEOs, but by managers. At the lowest level, is my manager trained to take care of their people, to balance between business outcomes and people? My human is a resource, not a slave. Do we treat them with respect to get the best out of them? And I can assure you, many of them aren't. Because they get promoted from being ICs to managers, and then all hell breaks loose. So, managers as allies, communication calendar. ERGs. So many times, you know, you have ERGs in the HO and we feel very proud about it. Oh, we have an enable ERG. We have a women ERG, it's called TAI. There we have XYZ ERG, we have POSH. But what is happening in the factory? What is happening in the sales branch? Because that is where your product is being made. What is happening in the R&D center? That is where your research is happening. What is happening in your sales branch? Because धंधा तो वहाँ से आ रहा है ना, revenue, we spoke about revenue. That is where your number is coming, top line is coming. अगर वहाँ पे लोग दुखी हैं तो HO can do whatever it wants. Are you with me? And of course then POSH plus. Why do we call it POSH plus? Because POSH as an act is not gender neutral. We need to make it more holistic. So these were some of the initiatives. Over a 3-year period, these were the numbers. So what you see above is the leading indicators, what we did. We could not cover everyone, it was a huge organization, but just look at the impact. The proprietary tool that we started with, it went up by 8 percentage points and they did get all the awards. जो होते हैं ना, I will not take names again. Their PWD and LGBTQ representation combined went to 4%. RPWD acts for government organizations say 4%, and they say even private organizations should try for it. There is no mandatory thing. So we said कि हम combined ये try करेंगे. And women representation doubled. So there was recruitment and stemming of attrition. So with this I end. I'm really sorry people, okay? But with this I end. This is my favorite quote. Diversity is a fact. Everybody is different and unique. We need to respect it, but that is a choice we make every day. Do I wish to respect it? Once I make that choice, I need to take action. I can keep saying that I am very, very inclusive, but if I don't take action, it is of no use. When I do all of three, belonging is an outcome, and that is when all your financial results will happen. So that's it from me. Thank you.